Hello everyone, it's a wacky Wednesday, so that means it's time for a brand new video. Hopefully you guys have all had a great start to the week. I know I'm feeling ready for this brand new YouTube video. Today we're gonna talk about tuition assistance. And I had a subscriber ask me if I would cover this topic. And I'm happy to cover topics that you all are interested in, and this channel is really all about giving you guys information about that military lifestyle. If you like the information that's being put out and you like the videos, make sure you like and subscribe. And again, I'll be knocking out videos at least every Wednesday, sometimes more. But let's get back to talking tuition assistance. Now, maybe you want to go to college, but you don't want the college loans that come with going to college. If that's the case and you're in the military or you're thinking about joining the military, perhaps tuition assistance is the right choice for you. And today I'm going to give you guys some general information that'll ring true across all branches, whether you're in the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, etc. And then we're going to take a deep dive into some specific topics related to each branch. So make sure you stick around not only for the general information that applies across the board, but for the more specific information. For instance, the Navy and the Air Force recently announced that the fiscal year cap on tuition assistance has gone down. I know what you're thinking. What the cuss? How is it that tuition rates are going up and tuition assistance is going down? But we'll get into that in a few moments. But first, let's talk about some general information that rings true across all the branches. One thing people get confused on is whether tuition assistance is just for active duty. Tuition assistance is actually for reservists, guardsmen, and active duty personnel. So we want to go ahead and put that misconception to bed. Another thing that might trip you guys up is the fact that it does not cover all tuition expenses. All right? Now, a lot of times people will research tuition assistance information and they'll see that the military pays up to 100% of tuition. Now it says up to 100%. It doesn't just say it covers 100%. You see what they did there? It says up to. You see what they did? This is why you got to have a lawyer reading that fine print, guys. They will cover up to 100% of your tuition. And by the way, there's generally a $4,500 fiscal year cap. Okay? Not only that, but there's also a credit hour cap, and that is at $250. Some schools charge more than $250 per credit hour, which means you're going to be making up that difference. And then again, there's this fiscal year cap as well, which is generally $4,500. So, if your tuition during the fiscal year is, $16,000, then no, tuition assistance is not going to cover all of your tuition. So again, got to read that fine print. Another thing is you have to be going to an accredited institution, and this is an institution that is accredited by the Department of Education. One of the misconceptions is that you have to be going to a 4-year university. That is not true. You can actually be going to a 2 or a 4-year university and still get tuition assistance. So that's another misconception we can put to rest today. Some people also believe that you can't get tuition assistance in grad school. Guess what? Tuition assistance is for you if you're pursuing tech school or taking vocational training. It's for you if you're doing undergraduate studies, and it's for you if you're doing graduate school studies. So remember, it's not just for those that are pursuing college degrees. Another misconception is that it's only for enlisted personnel. Guess what? Tuition assistance is for enlisted and officers. So keep that in mind. And again, what I'm giving you now is broad information that covers, all branches. Each particular branch, however, has their own particular set of rules. The Marine Corps, for instance, will make you take a financial planning course before you can get financial assistance. And they also used to require you to have 2 years of active duty service time under your belt, and then they changed it to 6 months. So it's changing. So again, make sure you're taking that deep dive into your particular branch's tuition assistance program. The Air Force, as I mentioned earlier, just October 1, guys, so this is brand new information. This just went into effect. The Air Force lowered its tuition assistance. It's not $4,500, guys. Now it's actually $3,700 and some change. So keep that in mind. The Navy, by the way, guys, I hate to say it, the Navy went even lower. The Navy's now doing just $3,000, and as for the fiscal year cap. And remember, the fiscal year kicks off on October 1. So yeah, it's just one of those things, guys. I hate that this has happened, although they have to reassess based on the budget and also based on the level of interest in tuition assistance. So unfortunately, the Air Force and the Navy have both already announced that their tuition assistance caps have gone down. Be sure you check out whatever the cap is for the Army this year and whatever the cap is for the Marine Corps. And the Coast Guard, okay? The Coast Guard also has tuition assistance. So don't think that just because the Coast Guard falls under DHS that it's not offering tuition assistance, because it is. Now, another general rule that will apply across the board is that you must have time remaining on your contract to cover the period for which you're getting TA or tuition assistance. So if your school is 4 years and you want tuition assistance for all 4 years, you got to have 4 years left on that contract. So keep that in mind. Another thing we should talk about is what tuition assistance covers and what it doesn't cover. So, what does it cover? It covers tuition, and it also covers course-specific fees. So if you have a lab fee related to a particular course, that can be covered with tuition assistance. Now, what does it not cover? It does not cover books. A lot of people really hope to get books from their tuition assistance. You can't do that. And also another common question is, where does the money go? It doesn't go directly in your pocket. It goes directly to the school. So keep that in mind as well. Now, this next part is extremely important. You must pay back tuition assistance if you leave service before you are getting all of the tuition assistance. So let's say that you have 1 year left on your contract with the military, and you're looking to get 1 year of tuition assistance, but you decide to leave service. Well, you're going to have to pay back that part that you got during which time you weren't actually in, the service. So if you're getting a year's worth of tuition assistance and you're leaving the service in 6 months, that's going to be a problem for you. Another reason is if you fail. Now, you definitely have to do a deep dive into your particular branch, because in some branches, it might be that a C is considered failing. It might be another branch saying a B- is considered failing, particularly if you're in grad school. So you got to check the requirements for your particular branch. But just generally speaking, you must pay back TA if you leave service, you fail, and here's the third one, if you quit class. So you can't just voluntarily quit in the middle of a semester and expect to not have to pay back that tuition assistance. So those are some very important key points. Now, before I hop off of here, I did also want to talk about the post 9/11 GI Bill, Because a lot of people think, well, should I use both at the same time? Am I allowed to use both at the same time? Should I use one now and save one for later? My response to this would be, use your tuition assistance now. Save, if you can, the post 9/11 GI Bill for later. And the reason why I say that is because you cannot use tuition assistance once you leave the service. Tuition assistance is gone when you are, all right? The post 9/11 GI Bill, however, you can use after you leave the service. And guess what, guys? It can be transferred to a spouse. It can be transferred to a child. Make sure you're looking into the particulars of this program. But just generally speaking, I would say use the tuition assistance, save the GI Bill, because you might want to pass that GI Bill benefit to your child, or maybe your spouse is going to want to use it. Another thing is you can use it after you leave service. So let's say you're not married, you don't have kids, and you don't intend to be married or have kids. Well, you might want to pursue a degree after you leave the service. You can use the post 9/11 bill for that, generally speaking. Again, you're going to need to check the particulars of the program. But what I can tell you is you definitely cannot use tuition assistance once you leave the military. That money is off the table. So those are just some tips about post 9/11 bill versus tuition assistance. I hope this information helped you guys out. As always, if you have specific questions, drop them down below. I'm happy to answer. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you like the information you're getting, and I will be sure to put up another video on Wednesday all about that military lifestyle. Have a great rest of the week, guys. Thanks for listening.